I'm so excited to welcome to Good Morning LaLa one of our favorite Real Housewives of Dallas, Deandra Simmons. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
And congratulations on the launch of Hard Night Good Morning. We're really excited about your new product. Tell us about it.
Well, on the show this year, we always try to launch a new product. This is my second season. Last year was L22, which was an anti-aging kind of super product, has everything in it. And this year we reformulated our nighttime moisturizer. Plus, my mother, who started the business almost 23 years ago, is a cancer survivor. And she developed one product called Green Miracle and built an entire business on that product. And for the first time ever, I reformulated it.
Oh, wow.
And that was terrifying because, not only did you have to have her approval, but everybody else. Because when we started, she was the first woman to ever make a green food product, and Green Miracle was her product. And back then, people just wanted to take something and make them healthy. They didn't worry about the taste. So now I had to reformulate so where it tastes good, because there's other green foods in the market. But my mom was the green food, the original Green Miracle woman.
Wow.
She is a green miracle because she's a cancer survivor.
That is incredible.
So tell us, we're so excited to have you here. This is all your products are amazing. And Good Morning LaLa, it's all really about positivity.
I saw that, yes.
It's about really the believers and the dreamers, and you represent that. I know that being on the show sometimes can be challenging, right? So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you've been able to stay positive through kind of, the ups and downs of reality world.
Erin, sometimes it's really difficult. You have to know why you're there, especially in a show like Housewives, and what's your purpose. And what you make of it is the experience you're going to have. So if you're going to use it as a platform to help people, which I do with humanitarian work. My husband's a photojournalist. We travel all over the world with the Nazarene Fund and Mercury One, and we work with people that are persecuted minorities. So that's something that I was able to do because I had a platform from Housewives. Now, there has to be drama, sensationalism, acrimony, all that that's the formula for Housewives. But at the same time, I have a brand. I have things I want to do with my life. And who I am on the show is exactly who I am in real life. I've always been very tough as nails, very straightforward, tell it like it is. And everybody that sees me and meets me in person, they're like, oh, you're the same exact person. And I've always been the way I've always worked. I've worked since I was 14 years old. This business is 10 years old. Launching new products is something I'm doing now. My mother gave the company up to me this year. That was my storyline. She finally retired. She's 78.
Oh, wow.
And of course, she still has her office. She says she's going to clean it out, but I'm not going to ask her to do that anytime soon. She's too much fun. So it's just about really taking whatever opportunities come your way and using them for the best and staying positive. And I love the fact that everybody that was on the couch talked about journaling. So I have my coffee, I put my skincare on, but I read the Bible every morning. So I have a devotional every morning. And then I should journal. I will say that I do not journal. I have in the past, but right now I haven't. But I do have.
Shame on you.
I know, but I have a prayer list. People actually write to me and say, would you pray for, because of my mother having cancer, and pray for this person, or can you talk, my son's having a problem. And I always do keep my prayer list, and I do write their names down, and I keep that up with that. So that's kind of the same, praying for other people and wishing good things on them, and that God will bless their lives. And I think if you have the desire for other people to be blessed, then you too will be blessed. And that's the lesson we all need to learn if we haven't learned it. I'm trying to still learn that every day of my life.
How do you maintain such faith, such unshakable faith?
Well, I was raised in my mother's an evangelist, by the way. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So I started when I was little on Christian TV with her. And so we've kind of my grandfather was very involved in the Pentecostal church. I mean, we're talking like, speaking in tongues and dancing in the aisles and the good stuff. That's how I was raised. And we went, no joke, Wednesday, twice on Sunday to church, and maybe another time during the week. And I didn't go to dances. I wasn't allowed to dance or do anything like that. I was raised, in fact, my mother was raised with no makeup because Pentecostals didn't wear makeup. So she's like gone overboard. She's just going to the house without that full face on now.
So I think we might have to have your mom on the show.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
What's your mom's name?
Dee. Dee. They call her Mama D.
Mama D.
Yeah, she's a real big hit. She's like the most popular housewife of the whole franchise. And she's not even a housewife.
I love that.
So I grew up with a strong faith, with my family having a strong faith. And my mother and I started on Christian television, and it was about telling her story of being a cancer survivor and literally praying for thousands of women that would come to these different, sermons and things like that, and just pray for them. And I remember praying for women that had ovarian cancer, women that had breast cancer, women that had broken marriages. And it was I always felt that God was working through me. I felt like this kind of energy going through me, and I knew when somebody had received a blessing, and I was just a vehicle. Yeah. And I still have a strong faith, and I still believe in everything that I was raised, upon. I believe in the Bible. I'm a Christian, and I'm not embarrassed to say it.
Well,
So
with this product in the show, you're also a vehicle and a voice for a lot of women, and you've done such an incredibly honest and authentic job of sharing your personal story and coming out and encouraging women to come out regarding domestic violence. Would you mind sharing?
yes,
about
I would love to
that?
share that. So before I was married to my wonderful husband, who's 22 years retired from the military, and he served our country, and he was deployed 5 times. He's amazing. I met this man. It was just serendipity. God just said, okay, here's your next husband, and he shined on me. But before that, I was involved with a man that met at church. Our families were both at church, and he started using drugs. And I didn't know there was a change in personality, a shift in personality. He became really pugilistic and combative with me, and I didn't know what was happening. I kept trying to ask. And then it got to be more and more combative, and then I almost lost my life the last time. So had internal bleeding, broken ribs, all my hair pulled out, broken fingers, broken bones. And that was kind of a wake-up call for me. I think when you're successful in a lot of areas of your life as a woman, people don't understand how you could get in that relationship. But your self-esteem also, they ratchet down at your self-esteem. You're not worth, you're not worth enough. Nobody wants you. You're not pretty enough. You're not this enough. You're not that enough. And you start believing it, even though over here, you kind of compartmentalize your life. And that's what I was doing. But when I finally left, and I went back after that, believe it or not, and I never really talked about it, but I went back for a little bit. And then I was speaking to women's groups and doing this. I said, and we were kind of hiding the down low, and I said, I can't be a voice for women and an example for women if I'm not being honest myself. And I finally cut it off because it was embarrassing to me that I would allow myself to stay in that relationship. It was hard to leave, and I finally cut it off and I left. And I can't tell you that cycle. I had a lot of counseling, but finally the realization came to me is I have to be the example for other women that need to leave these kind of situations. If I'm still doing this, then what does that say
But
about
don't
me?
you feel like
about the situation?
God, the universe, whatever, only gives us those things if we're ready to learn that lesson to
Right.
be able to help others with the same situation? I mean, in some ways, it's the weirdest thing. What we think is a blessing can be a curse, and what we think is, a tragedy can be the biggest blessing of our life, right?
I definitely agree with you. And last year, it was 2 years ago, I told my story I chaired the Salvation Army Luncheon in Dallas. There was 850 women there, all the big socialites, in Dallas. And I told my mother I was going to tell this story, and she was mortified. She, didn't want me to do it at all. And I said, well, it's something I feel like I need to talk about, and it would be really good for the charity because they have a big domestic violence shelter in Dallas. And I told it, and the response was overwhelming. Most of the people were overwhelmingly, thank you for doing it. And you could see in their eyes, and they're talking women that are married to the most powerful men in Dallas. You could see in their eyes the understanding. And there, of course, were some women that were just, didn't want to hear about it. But it was my mother, I think, did a complete 180. And she said, I'm so glad that you did share the story and that you have this message to help women. And I was wrong. I shouldn't have held you back. So, there's a lot of, my mother and I have grown a lot. We've had a lot of arguments over the years. I'm an only child. And there's been a push-pull struggle between the two of us. But we finally came to a place where we're in a good mother-daughter relationship, I think because the business was a lot of it. And I love my mom, and we were talking about experiences, the different things that happen in relationships that make you who you are. And my mother's made me a stronger person. She's always been a very tough woman and very determined. And it was hard on me growing up. I had to, everything had to be perfect. I had to look perfect, had to make great grades, I had to be beautiful, and I always struggled with my weight because my mother was a model and she was beautiful. She did everything perfect, and it was a lot of pressure on me. Right. But now I look back and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh my gosh. Well, you're touching millions of lives in so many ways by sharing your incredible story. So tell people where they can find your products, where they...
So DeandraSimmons.com, we took all the businesses. One is Ultimate Living and one is Hard Night Good Morning, and now it's DeandraSimmons.com because people were searching for that, and we put it under one brand. And all the packaging here, some of it's changing a little bit, but it does have embedded links. So if you put your link reader over, it'll go to a video or go to the website and tell you a little bit more about the product. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, I love that new
Very smart.
technology. It's awesome.
And it's cruelty-free.
It is. It's aloe vera-based skincare. So it's certified organic aloe. I started developing 20 years ago. I learned that aloe vera is a great deliverer of actives and botanicals to the skin because aloe vera penetrates and delivers all of those things that you want into your skin much better and more efficaciously than, say, water, because water evaporates, aloe vera penetrates. So I always always make aloe vera skincare products. I put as many actives, the highest amount of actives that are in the clinical studies. And then we continue to, develop on what we've done in the past. My eye cream will always be my bestseller. I will never change it. People would flip and flop if I did that. There would be like a mutiny, if I did that. So I could never do that. And my facial cocktail was my original product, but the L22 is new. We did the nighttime moisturizer, changed it. People are loving it. I'm always trying to improve and make better. Right now we have just like some little stocking stuffer things and little masks and things for the eyes and the lips for Christmas. If that works out, I'll stay with that. But next year we'll develop more products, and I want to develop more nutrition too, because that's my foundation. And I went to naturopathic doctor school for 2 years. So all of this was learning from my mother's experience with her business, and then the skin being the largest body organ, how to take care of your skin, and transdermally when you're putting things on your body, what's that doing to your health? So that's where this came from.
You're quite a woman.
You are.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you, Erin. I appreciate it. Thank you,
much for
Michelle.
being
Thank
with
you very
us
much.
today.
Nice to meet you.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.